Jeong Seon drawing from seeing near Dano the 5th day of May in Lundar year, there was a little commotion happening in the palace of Jeong Seon. The retainers were hassling over a fan. "Sir, who drew this wonderful picture on your fan? This looks like Mount Kumgang, and it's such a beautiful scenery that I feel like I can touch the real thing." Then the owner of the fan, the Minister of Finance, said in a proud tone, as though the fan is a prized treasure, "The picture on this fan is by Kyum Jai." At that, the retainers nodded in understanding. Indeed, art by Kyum Jai is extraordinary, and they all fussed that they too would ask for a picture on their fans. Kyum Jai was none other than Jeong Seon's pen name. At that time, there was a custom of preparing fans for imminent summer. They gifted them to each other as well. A few days ago, the minister visited Jeong and looked around at the pictures. He enjoyed appreciating art, so he saw Hwa-wons from time to time. "From what I heard, you have been to Mountain Kumgang recently. Please show me what you have drawn this time." Joang brought a folding fan and spread it out. The beautiful scenery of Winter Mountain Kumgang was drawn on the fan. The title of the picture was Kumgang na Sando. The minister did not stint on the praise when he saw it. "Your landscape is the best in Joseon indeed. The summer heat wave will vanish if you use this fan." Then the minister continued cautiously. "If I bring a fan to you, will you draw me a landscape of Kumgang like this one on it?" "Of course, sir. It will be my pleasure," Jeong replied, bowing his head. There was no reason to refuse a request from a person who knew the worth of your works. Also, to be frank, you could not reject a request from a minister of national finance after all. So the minister got his hands on a fan that everyone was envious of. Jeong was the firstborn son in a family of collapsed Yongbon. His family had failed to work in the government for many generations, and his father had passed away early in his life, so his household was far from affluent. When he saw his single mom struggling, Jeong decided, "I will grow up fast and become an outstanding person." However, it was hard to concentrate on studying when you barely had an everyday meal. Jeong had to do some crummy works and help his household. Then one day, a Yangban visited Jeong's house. You could tell from the first sight that he was in a very high position in the government. As soon as she saw him, Jeong's mother ran out on bare feet. "Why, what an honor that Lord has visited our humble place. Long time no see. I have come here to talk about your son with you." He was Lord Kim Chang-jeep, who later became the Prime Minister. He had known the family of Jeong closely for a long time. Jeong's mother invited him into a room courteously. Kim and Jeong's mother and Jeong Seon faced each other. Kim opened up first. "Have you not considered your son Seon to enter Dohwa Seo at all?" Jeong was famous for being good at drawing since he was little. He had not learned from anyone, but his innate talent drew the attention of people. Lord Kim knew about his talent since before, but the mother could not answer readily to the Lord's question. "Why does it make you uncomfortable that he becomes a Hwa-won in Dohwa Seo as a Yangban?" Kim asked mother once again. Then the mother finally answered, "Yes, it does, sir. Is it not usually the kids from Jeong class who become a Hwa-won? That is true, but you have to look at how your household is running. Furthermore, the kid is talented, so being a Hwa-won is not a bad idea at all. Jeong's mother eventually changed her mind after Kim's persuasion. Jeong was inwardly happy. If I become a Hwa-won of Dawaseo, I can make money so that I can help my family. Above all, I am happy that I can draw as much as I can. Jeong was very content with his life in Dawaseo. He became a Hwa-won from a recommendation from Lord Kim, which meant receiving harsh looks from his colleagues. But he soon overcame it with his artistry. I thought he would be nothing but a self-important Yang Ban, but his art is really good. I know. I think he might become the best Hwa-won quite soon. Such estimation from his colleagues was a great encouragement to Jeong Seon. There was one thing that Jeong was dissatisfied with the life in Dawaseo. It was about the type of art that was popular at the time. Around that time, Hwa-wons of Dawaseo was busy copying the Chinese style. Furthermore, he was not happy with the Southern school style, which he was interested in at first, either because it expresses in a too subjective manner. A picture has to have a personality in it. I was to draw the realistic landscape, wandering around Jeong Seon myself. Jeong put this idea into action right away. Jeong wandered around to find marvelous sceneries such as Kumgang Mountain. Then the beautiful landscape of Jeong Seon would come alive on the paper. Nature is telling us many stories as it is. You can only make great pieces when you see it for yourself and are touched by it. At Jeong's hand, a flower would bloom. It would sometimes rain. A sun would set, or wild geese would fly away. Of course, the picture on the fan mentioned previously was drawn at Kumgang Mountain, where he climbed himself. People after his time called Jeong's art style not just Sansuwa, or landscape, but Jinggyong Sansuwa. It means landscape of true view. Later in his life, the palace gave him a position of a hyongam, or a prefect, celebrating his works in Dawaseo. It was the revival of a Yangban family. However, Jeong was indifferent to the news. Being a member of a Yangban family does not mean anything to me anymore. I just want to be better with my art. Jeong never put down his brush, even when he got old. When he was over 70, he looked at the Inhuang Mountain that was near his house. The rain just stopped, and the fog was starting to shroud the mountain. As people say, you cannot see what's right under your nose. I have not noticed this marvelous scenery near my house. Jeong's mastery shone through this time as usual. Trees and forests covered by the fog and rain-soaked boulders were drawn dynamically. That day, Jeong created another masterpiece, In Wangja Sekto.